Hey gamers, I am Cybersnack7. Hope we're all well, guys. Good to be back with another video. Now this is the final part of my totally Snestastic videos. If you don't know already, I've acquired a substantial amount of boxed and complete ntsc Super Nintendo games off the one and only Pete Snestastic. If you don't know who Pete is, please go check his channel out. His information will be down below, and it's also on every other video as well. Absolutely fantastic guy, brilliant YouTuber, and a really good friend. But I say he done me a sweet deal on some fantastic titles for my collection that is getting humongous. But to sweeten the deal, he also threw in a few peripherals as well. So what I'll do is, in this final video, I'll show you the last 3 games of this little set that I had off Pete, and also a few peripherals that he threw in. So guys, let's crack on and let's check out the first game. Now the first game is a platformer, which yet again I'd never heard of until Pete showed it in his video. And it's not a bad platformer at all. Very challenging, very colourful, and it is a 3D title. It's not a fantastic 3D game by any means, but still they have tried very hard to make a 3D game on the Super Nintendo. Now, if you're unsure of what this game's called, it is Jim Power and the Lost Dimensions. And as I say, this is absolutely in fantastic condition yet again, guys. Total box porn for you guys out there who love your condition. But as I say, this game is an absolute gem of a game. It's very colourful, as you can see on the back. Quite challenging. Haven't really give it like my full attention, to be honest. Tried the 3D on it, and as I said before, you know, to try and do 3D on a Super Nintendo game, it's an achievement in itself. But as I say, the game itself, very good. You play Jim Power, who is a secret agent, and you basically have to stop an evil alien, and his name is Vaprak. And technically yours is the last world he's got to beat, so he can get into the secret dimension and totally basically own the universe. But as I say, that's the story of this. But the game itself, as I say, really quite colourful and challenging platformer. And yet again, I think it's probably the one and only 3D game that was ever available for the Super Nintendo. So that, guys, is Jim Power and the Lost Dimensions. Right, the next game is a game, when I seen Pete show this game, I've been after it for an eternity. It's such a good title, and it goes with Knights of the Round, which I picked up a couple of months ago. As I say, this one can go for some money, and especially in good condition and complete. But to get this, I'm very happy to snag it off Pete, especially knowing full well how good the condition of this game is. But the game I'm talking about is the one and only King of Dragons, and this game is a superb side-scrolling action beat 'em up. The condition is, need I say more, in A1 condition. But the game is a side-scrolling action platforming game. But you know, graphically brilliant, very similar to the likes of Knights of the Round in terms of playability. But if I'm correct, you do your characters do level up as you progress through the game, and there's a selection of characters yet again you can use. I think there's 4 in total. But as I say, very similar to the Knights of the Round, but I prefer this slightly over Knights of the Round. But boy, this is a game I've been trying to get my hands on for such a long time, and yet again, when Pete you know, give me the opportunity, and he personally kept this aside, knowing full well that I'd want this game, because he knows how much and how desperate I've been to get this game. But to get this game finally in my collection, it is just another sweet title to add to my growing collection. So that, guys, is the magnificent Knights of the Round. And now the final one is a game he threw in for free. And personally, I'm glad I've got it, because it's kind of a bit of a sentimental value for me. One, because I watch Pete's videos, his selection, like his Super Nintendo collection videos, from the very beginning, from the very start to the very last game he picked up. And the game I've got now is the very last game he ever picked up. And to be honest, I totally agree with him. The game is not a bad platforming game, and it is the one and only Michael Jordan Chaos in the Windy City. It is not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. The game is a very cheap game, no two ways about it, but the condition of this game is really, really in very good condition indeed. But as I say, you know, it's a bit of a crazy story. You are Michael Jordan, and you have to rescue your buddies through platforming levels of such. But it's got nice little touches where you've got to shoot baskets to unlock doors and get keys and things like that. And it's just basically open doors and search for your buddies and like get through each level, finding all the keys. Simplistic gameplay, but very addictive for what it is. But as I say, you know, it's not the greatest game in the world, but to me, this is one of my prizes because this is Pete's final game he had in his collection. And I'm going to have something special done to this, which I haven't yet had done, but I'll show you in next year sometime. But as I say, such a nice little title to have. One, because it's a nice little platformer, but two, truly, it's because it was Pete's final game in his collection. So I'm very, very happy to have this one. So that is Michael Jordan and Chaos in the Windy City. And that, believe it or not, guys, is the last game. That's all the games I've had off Pete. Now, the next little lot I've got is a few peripherals, which I was totally unexpected about getting. I did question him about one item, which I'm going to show you, but I ended up with two, bizarrely. But firstly, I'll just show you a little item that I picked up myself, because I'm going for all the little peripherals for the console itself. And I managed to pick myself up a Super Nintendo cleaning kit, which is really good condition box, but it's just the cartridge, and you've got like a cleaning section in between the cartridge, which allows you to clean the pins of your Super Nintendo. So that's a nice little touch to have, and they're becoming quite sought after, to be honest. But as I say, I seen it and I jumped on it and I thought I've got to have this. So that is the old Super Nintendo cleaning kit. Right, find somewhere to stick these things. Now, the next little item, which I was totally unaware of getting off Pete, was one of these. And I do have a few Game Boy games, and obviously you can see there I've got a Game Boy player. Or should I say Game Boy, original Game Boy. Now, I don't get to play that often, but I have tried this and it does work really, really well. And it's quite good, and a much improved experience playing Game Boy games on your TV. So you know now what I'm talking about, hopefully. But it gave me a boxed Super Game Boy, and it is in really, really good condition. I know I can get protective covers for these boxes, so I will be picking some up shortly. But you know, it's a nice little item to have, especially if I want to play Game Boy games. And you also get a guide in there as well. I don't know whether it's a cheat guide or something, but you also get like a book in there. But it's fully complete and in fantastic condition, so that was a surprise. Really didn't know I was going to get out of that, so I'm definitely happy to have that. So that's the Super Game Boy. And then the final item, what I had one of these originally when I bought the PAL system. I bought it as a set. Now, it's not the greatest thing in the world to have and to be proud of, and I know there weren't many games released for this, but I asked Pete for one of these, and it is the Super Scope, the American Super Scope. Now, this is, believe it or not, one of two. This one is slightly discoloured on the edges. You're not going to be able to see very much, but condition-wise, this is in relatively good condition. Minus shelfware on the corners, which you're going to get. But as I say, this one was just thrown in as a bonus. So that's Super Scope number 1, which I didn't expect to have. But this was the one I actually wanted, which was the better condition one. and as you can see, the colours are more vibrant, and this is a much more condition wise in a lot better condition, but absolutely stoked to have this. As I say, you know, there's not many games available for this actual peripheral, but you know, you got 6 good games on there, and I think there's about 3 or 4 that you could actually buy, which I will be picking up because I've got to justify owning the Super Scope after all. But as I say, absolutely fantastic, not just to get 1 but to get 2, so 2 Super Scopes. What can I say? But that, guys, let me have a look. That is it. That is everything. That is all the games and all the peripherals I've picked up and Pete's kindly sent my way. So as I say, I'm just an absolutely massive thanks to Pete for, as I say, sending and giving me the opportunity to pick these games up off you, mate. And as I say, they've gone into a good home and they're going to be very well looked after, believe me. But as I say, yet again, if you haven't checked him out, all the info will be down below. Please go and check Pete out. Absolutely fantastic YouTuber, friend, and a great channel. Very mixed lately. He's got a good variety on his channel with music, DVDs and gaming. And he's now gone into collecting for the Super Famicom now. As he's moved on from the NTSC Super Nintendo. So please go and check him out. An absolute star. And as I say, what I've had off him, I'm well happy with. So I'm going to appreciate it and play it through Christmas now. So that, guys, is the lot for this year on Super Nintendo. I've outdone myself. I only wanted to reach 100 games and I reached 124. I think it's 123 actually. 123 games, it's far better than I thought I was going to do. But as I say, to get a sweet deal like that at the end of the year is just amazing. So I'm very happy. So I'll leave it there, guys. More Super Nintendo next year, without question. So thanks for watching, guys. And as always, I am Snestastic7. Keep playing, guys. Always keep watching. All the best.